Now at 11, dropping temperatures.
Making sure that you're wearing layers, you're preparing for the day, checking the weather report before you go out so you don't get caught unprepared.
Lydia Esparra speaks with a local ER doctor about preventing a trip to the hospital.
Caught on camera. ODOT is investigating an incident involving one of their snowplows that had the potential of being extremely dangerous. New maps under review, and that could mean some big changes for Cuyahoga and Summit counties. Will Uick breaks it all down and explains how it could impact you ahead of the spring primaries.
And meet the Guardians.
This is a volunteer sport. Everybody does this because they love it.
Call them the OGs. Mark Namick introduces us to Cleveland's roller derby team.
Live from WKYC Studios, this is What's Next.
Hey, good evening. I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Betsy Kling.
It is cold.
Yes, it is.
And it's getting colder. School closings are coming in. As you can see, they're scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of school districts that wait till tomorrow morning as well. But we have wind chill advisories in place, and that's the basis of a lot of these school closings that we have already in the system for tonight. Now, as far as this wind chill advisory goes, it will stretch all the way toward 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. We may see it lifted early, but really this is where we start to see the tipping point between very cold air and wind. If we have just a little bit of wind, it doesn't offset that cold air so much, but just a whisper of a breeze makes it feel a whole lot colder than it actually is. This is the situation right now. It is 9 below zero. That is the air temperature in Worcester. But with a calm wind, the wind chill is also at 9 below. We add a little bit of a wind, and you know there's going to be breeze tonight. That's going to drop those wind chills down well into the middle below zero teens, so about 15 below or so. It feels like it's 11 below right now in Ashtabula, where the air temperature is 1 below. It's 2 above in Elyria, but the wind chill is at 12 below. So we are below zero as far as the wind chills right now. Now, moving forward, looking toward tomorrow morning. This is tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. Air temperatures on the left, wind chills on the right, and you can see we're still in that 10 to 15 degree below zero wind chill range. So that is throughout Northeast Ohio. That is wind chill territory. 6 a.m., much the same. If you're going to be stepping out the door at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m., we still have those wind chills anywhere from 10 to 15 below zero. So that wind chill advisory is expected to stay in place through the morning commute, and it will be warming up nicely as we go through the day tomorrow, but not for long. I'll detail all of that straight ahead. Russ.
Right, Betsy, thanks a lot. And with this weather, it's a good time for a reminder on how fast frostbite can set in. Our Lydia Esparra spoke with an expert who says it hits faster than you may think.
All you have to do is look around you and see that Mother Nature is serious about the cold. From a frozen Lake Erie to icicles longer than your leg to this sign that always reminds us this weather is brutal. What are you seeing a lot of?
We're seeing a lot of people who probably underprepare for the weather. They go out and they get exposed to the cold.
Dr. Robert Hughes is with University Hospitals. He says frostbite could set in as quickly as 30 minutes, and people who work outdoors are especially at risk.
I actually used to years ago work at a grocery store where I had to move carts a lot. And so during the winter months, this was in Rochester, New York, we would have opportunities to come in and cycle different job requirements in order to make sure that people weren't exposed for long periods of time.
Dr. Hughes says layers are important when heading outdoors. 1 or 2 underneath your coat, a hat, gloves, a scarf. Build loose layers. And the cold is just as bad for pets as it is for humans.
If you're uncomfortable out in this weather, your dog probably is too.
Greg Woolley with the Friendship APL in Elyria found this little guy wandering in the cold. Just like us, he was cold and shivering and probably would not have survived the night without protection.
You should, at this point in Ohio, be bringing your dog inside during these really frigid cold temperatures.
Frigid temperatures that aren't going away, at least for now. Lydia Esparra, 3 News.
And we are getting school closings into our iAlert system tonight. To get that list straight to your phone, text the words closings, closings, to 216-344-3300. Once again, that word is closings. The number is 216-344-3300. Remember, this is a text, not a call.
And speaking of schools, and this is kind of interesting, the Ohio Department of Health says school districts no longer need to contact trace for COVID-19. They say the Omicron variant makes it impractical. Instead, the health department recommends schools have students mask up and take tests in order to play sports. And starting next Friday, positive cases in schools will only be reported weekly. Now to Bowling Green State University, where 2 fraternities are suspended for alleged hazing and alcohol incidents. The university now extending Delta Chi's suspension until 2026 and suspending Phi Delta Theta until 2024, the fall semester. This comes less than a year after a BGSU sophomore died from a hazing during a Pi Kappa Alpha party. That fraternity has permanently been banned.
A Northeast Ohio political rematch is in the works. Former Ohio State Senator Nina Turner will face off once again with Congresswoman Shontel Brown. Brown defeated Turner for the 11th district seat just last summer in a bruising special election. I spoke with Turner just before her announcement.
A hard-fought race last time. When you look at the campaign this time around, what do you think you'll do differently?
Well, definitely do more, of being on the ground. I mean, we were on the ground a lot, but you can always do more. The terrain this time is different as well. It's not a special election. There will be new lines, one way or the other. And I know that the Supreme Court ruled that the lines were unconstitutional, sent it back and said, you guys work on this and make it right. But nevertheless, there will be new lines no matter what.
By the way, the 2022 primary is set for May 3rd.
Well, as Turner mentioned, the election will come as Ohio's congressional map remains a big question mark after the Supreme Court struck down previous sets of maps for gerrymandering. Now, with deadlines fast approaching, uncertainty and pressure is being felt on all sides. Our Will Ewick has the story.
Like farmers have to plant their crops, people that are running for public office have to plant their seeds and get moving.
Election season is close at hand, or at least it's supposed to be, with the candidate filing deadline next week. But as local politicians prepare campaigns, they're not even sure what voters will be in their districts.
Just allow people to file no matter where they live, not even knowing what district they're filing in, which I think is a little bit crazy.
Today, the legislature chose not to move the candidate filing deadline back, despite not having approved district maps.
They said they were going to be a little bit more lenient with the signatures. As long as you got signatures from what you thought was going to be your district.
Ohio's Supreme Court has given the Redistricting Commission till Friday to respond to challenges like those from the American Civil Liberties Union, calling the maps unconstitutional, claiming they're drawn in ways that favor one political party.
All we really have to do is look at how the different census units within the district voted in the past, and that's basically how the district will vote in the future.
Using that info, political science experts say the rejected maps would have given Republicans a 35-seat advantage in the House and 13 in the Senate. Now, the new maps currently being considered brings that GOP advantage to 15 in the House and 7 in the Senate. And while both Representative Patton and Crossman agree the rejected maps did go against voters' wishes, they disagree on these new ones.
This is what the people wanted. That's what they asked for. I'm delighted. I think this next map really is a realistic, competitive map.
I think the court's going to take a real hard look at whether these maps are constitutionally compliant. Personally, I don't think that they are, and I think they're going to have to continue to go back to the drawing board.
If the Ohio Supreme Court doesn't approve the maps, they're not legally allowed to hire their own experts to draw new ones, like in some other states.
That's explicitly in the 2015 amendment. It says no court may do this work.
So it would once again be up to elected officials to make changes, up against an even tighter deadline.
The court also threw out the congressional district map, and we may very well be back here having a similar conversation about the congressional map in 3 or 4 weeks.
Will Ewick, 3 News.
Big news from the nation's capital as Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer is expected to formally announce his retirement as early as tomorrow. He's served for more than 2 decades on the High Court and is set to be there through this June. His retirement paves the way for President Biden to appoint a new justice. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says President Biden stands by his campaign trail promise to nominate a black woman to the nation's highest court.
Cleveland's first Guardians sports franchise has nothing to do with baseball, and it went largely unnoticed until it sued the former Cleveland Indians for adopting the same name. Now the OGs, the original Guardians, and the new Guardians have agreed to share the moniker.
That's right. With 1 month until the baseball Guardians first start their spring training, Mark Namick goes inside the lesser-known Guardians to explore the sport of roller derby.
Gearing up for a new season under a new spotlight.
This is a volunteer sport. Everybody does this because they love it. Nobody gets paid to do it.
Founded in 2013, Cleveland's roller derby team is the city's first sports club to formally take its name from the hulking 43-foot-tall sandstone sculptures that anchor the Lorraine Carnegie Bridge. The Guardians, who compete on four wheels and a wooden track, won't discuss its settlement with the Guardians who play in cleats and on turf. Players say they're focused on rebuilding skills and getting back to competition sidelined by the pandemic.
It's a really exciting time in roller derby because for a long time we were like the weirdos at roller skate, and now we've got all these new people that are like, ooh, I started roller skating during COVID, now I want to like do something else with it.
The Guardians compete in a league run by the Men's Roller Derby Association, though the team holds itself out as an all-gender squad. Modern roller derby action doesn't look anything like the roller derby of the 1970s.
From the golden age of roller derby comes Roller Derby Gold,
which was played on a bank track with men and women in tights and plastic helmets, fake fighting, pro wrestling style. The Guardians play on a flat track. The contact is real, with real consequences.
I broke my right leg 7 years ago. I tore my meniscus and had to have that repaired. But beyond that, typical, bumps and bruises.
You gotta die somehow. I cracked a rib on our first practice, and then I was like, this is so much fun. It was just like, you're having so much fun that falling is just part of it.
The competition isn't a game or match, it's a bout. Each team, with a roster of 15, puts 5 players on the track at a time, 4 blockers and a jammer, who, like a running back, tries to break free to score points.
I'm pretty positive I'm going to be a jammer. I'm zero. I'm the something from nothing. I stand sideways, and you give me an inch and I can take a mile.
A point is awarded for every member of the opposing team that jammer laps. Each of the 2 30-minute halves consists of a series of 2-minute jams. Scores rival those of an NBA game. Watching can be confusing to the uninitiated.
And my dad came to me at halftime and said, I have no idea what you guys are doing, but I know that you don't have as many points right now. But it looks good.
Athletes come in all sizes and from all walks of life, from graphic designer to steelworker.
I think I might be a blocker. I'm a pretty big guy, if you can't tell, but there is a role for everybody. There are tiny people out here with really big skaters, and you'd think they'd get crushed, but that speed and agility is their strength.
The Guardians players say they enjoy the competition, but it's the ethos of the sport that keeps them coming back.
I like skating. I like the community that is in roller derby. People, really build each other up. They help each other out. It's like an extended family. Skating is a place where I feel powerful.
Her interest in the sport sparked far from the track.
It was very random. I saw an episode of CSI New York that featured a roller derby storyline where somebody got murdered, and it was like, I was just like, that's cool.
These Guardians will likely forever be overshadowed by the city's beloved baseball team. But unlike a major league ball club, this roller derby is open to anyone with a little bit of grit, a good nickname, and a desire to represent Cleveland.
All right, bring it in. Come on.
Mark Namick, 3 News.
Memories of Joni Weston and John Johnson from back in the day, the Bay City Bombers.
I was just thinking, that is no couple skate.
It is not. It is not. Coming up tonight, damage from snow plows. We'll show you the new images from a turnpike nightmare over the weekend. Plus, one viewer shares video of his experience in Summit County.
And Browns QB Baker Mayfield says he is off of social media again. What he posted and how long he plans to go dark.
What's Next is sponsored by the Calvetta Brothers Floor Show. It's time to fall in love again with your home.
Tonight, we're getting a closer look at the damage caused by a snowplow on the turnpike in Erie County. State troopers say the plow driver hurled snow and ice over the median and into oncoming traffic. At least 12 were injured and more than 50 vehicles were damaged. New photos, as you see there, show that mess left behind. Now, we spoke with one man who was not involved in that incident, but dealt with his own snowplow experience on Monday. John Jeevan of Monroe Falls captured video on his dash cam. Snow, look at that, falling on his car as he passed under the I-76 bridge in Summit County. Tonight, ODOT says it is reviewing the situation. Look at this windshield. Gosh, how scary is that?
Yeah, and we just had the one on the turnpike, as you mentioned. You know, the turnpike different than ODOT, but
right.
Those plows are big and they move a lot of snow, and man, when they are going fast, it just flies.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Obviously, those drivers couldn't do anything there. There was
Right.
stuff going on, but just in general, you got to be careful out
And
there.
be wary of where they are, and
Yeah.
you know, if you can stay out of the way, definitely stay out of the way. Tonight, it's more of an icing issue. We had that sun today that helps to melt the snow
Right.
that's around. All that water now, it's going to be freezing tonight as we have these very cold temperatures in place. It is going to be really darn cold tomorrow morning. Says so right there on the graphic. Now you know it's going to be really darn cold. Mostly sunny otherwise. Temperatures in the single digits and below zero. Wind chills well below that. Scattered snow around in the evening, but temperatures make a beautiful rebound back into the upper 20s. Not above freezing yet, but definitely a pretty fur poke from where we're going to start the day. 9 below still in Worcester, 1 below now in tropical Dover, 7 above Youngstown, 5 at the Cuyahoga County Airport. Temperatures are going to be varied across the area. The breezes will drop the wind chills, but the breezes also help to elevate the temperatures just a little bit. We get our coldest temperatures when the winds go dead calm, and that's when we really have no wind chill effect. So there's like this weird triangular relationship that's going on between wind and temperature and wind chill, but all of that, you can still see that we've got a light breeze out there. And when it's this cold, even a light breeze makes it feel even colder. So wind chill advisories in play. We have already had wind chills 10 to 15 below zero, and that's really going to stay with us tonight. Through 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, that's where this wind chill lies now. We could see that trimmed back early tomorrow. A lot of that is dependent upon how quickly things start to warm up. And we will be warming up. We have a frontal boundary that's coming our way. Now, typically fronts will mean bad things for us this time of the year. Oh, here we go. We probably will get some snow out of it, but the front is also helping to pull a southerly wind in. As the southerly wind comes in, that will start to bring in the warmer air that is sitting out to the southwest of us too. The cold air right now, the core of the cold air is east of us. So we're on the backside of all of that. This is really the last night we have to deal with it. And then you look farther down here into portions of Oklahoma, Texas. This is the very beginning of what will become a beast of an East Coast storm system. And, you know, timing, location, track is everything. Right now, it's going to take its sweet old time on diving down through the deep south. And then once it hits the East Coast, it's going to rip to the northeast. So here comes our front with a few snow showers later in the day tomorrow. We'll have another reinforcing shot of cold air. Now, remember, we've got that low that's coming in here and sitting over the Gulf Stream just off of the Carolina coast. Watch how this baby comes together, meets up with that cold air. We get cold, we get warm, everything's starting to work, and we're going to have a storm system that really becomes very powerful. As of tonight, looking a little further east, that's great news for the East Coast, but it's still expected to be a pretty high impact storm, especially for New England. We will be on the cold side of it the whole time. And in that National Design hour by hour forecast, that really comes into play probably more toward the weekend. For tonight, though, it's all about the wind. This light wind will mean the wind chills will be below zero. Our air temperatures will come up quickly. We're going to start single digits pre-dawn, and then by midday and into the afternoon, make a beautiful rebound back into the mid and upper 20s. That is just about the time we're going to start to see those snow showers coming down. Union Home Mortgage forecast, the scattered snow continues into Friday. Look at Saturday, only at 15 for the high, but at least we get to see some sunshine. I know, not too much of a payoff there. After a cold start on Sunday, then we'll begin a rebound once more. Temperatures getting back into the 40s. We're going to go for a stretch above freezing. That means the melt is on. And with rain coming in, we could be looking at some flooding concerns by the time we get into the middle of next week. We're going to keep an eye on that one for you. Meanwhile, Jimmy's keeping an eye on sports. He's up next.
The Sports Report is sponsored by the people-pleasing people at Sarah Auto Park in Akron.
Hi, everybody. What a win, what a win, what a win again for the Cavs tonight. They took on the defending world champion Milwaukee Bucks, spotted them a 12-point lead early, and then blew them right out of the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Yes, Giannis Antetokounmpo was back and played tonight. So, I mean, they were full force. Second quarter, Kevin Love with the steal. And on the other end of it, he hits a three. Kevin Love's been playing great ball coming off the bench. 25 in the game for the Cavaliers to lead them. Second quarter, Darius Garland with the incredible dish off to Evan Mobley. Mobley with the dunk right there, and the Cavs are rolling. Fourth quarter, Cedi Osman had a big night, too. He hits a three. He had 23, and the Cavs win 115-99. And so, J.B. Bickerstaff, is this another statement win?
These are wins for us now. And the statement is what our guys are capable of. This isn't a commentary on opponents, right? It's a commentary on our group of guys. And the ability that they have when they're together. That's the statement we're making. This is about us as a group.
All right, to the NFL, to the Browns, and to the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, they come and they go, and the Vikings got their man, and they came to Cleveland to get him. And so congratulations go out to Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, who's been the Browns vice president of football operations underneath Andrew Berry for the last 2 years. Here he is in Minnesota today, signing his new contract, a 4-year deal worth $12 million to rebuild the Minnesota Vikings. Congratulations to him. He's their new general manager, and he received a lot of well wishes from Berea, Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry saying what a great job he did here. Baker Mayfield is making a lifetime decision. Not a football decision, but today's lifetime decision might help the football. He's getting off social media. He called social media toxic. So he's going to step away from it for a while because he really got in some battles this year, and the year was tough on the field, and the year was tough for him on social media too. So he is done there. Conference championship weekend. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, they are there. They're at Arrowhead Stadium coming up this Sunday. Remember, just before the end of the regular season, they wrapped up the AFC North when they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Now they have to do it again, this time in Kansas City. Joe Burrow, the city of Cincinnati, the Bengals organization, thrilled to be there.
We're excited about the opportunity. Obviously, a really good team. If you want to do the things that we want to do, that's a team that you're going to have to beat every single year. The AFC has run through them for 4 straight years. So, we're excited about the opportunity. We're going to have a great week of practice, and we'll be ready to go.
Once again with the hat, it looks like he was out shoveling snow all afternoon, isn't it? All right, that's a check on sports. We're back right after this.
January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and tomorrow is the 9th annual Human Trafficking Awareness Panel. The forum will address Ohio's failing efforts to fight the issue. The state got an F rating on the latest report card. That virtual event will begin at 7:30 tomorrow night, moderated by our own Marissa Saenz. You can stream it at WKYSC.com. And Betsy, the word for tomorrow? Cold.
Cold. We still are getting eye alerts in, so make sure you check that list tomorrow morning, see who else is off around you.
A lot of kids with their fingers crossed, to say the least. 3 News Go begins at 4:30 a.m.
Have a great night.